Like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
President Byrne.
Here.
Trustees Hebda.
Here.
Schultz. Markwart.
Here.
Cook.
Here.
Grebe.
Here.
Williams.
Okay, would everybody please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wow. Okay. Are there any citizens that wish to address the board tonight? Okay. Yeah, that's right, you're not on the agenda.
I'm not.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Hi, I'm Aaron Lawler. I'm the Lake County Board Chairman. I just wanted to come and thank the board for their ongoing support of the Route 53 120 project. Last month, the Tollway Board unanimously approved moving forward with an environmental impact statement, which will study the potential alignments, the environmental issues, as well as financial feasibility and other things. And it's really an important project, not just for our region and our county, but also our community. The Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning lists Route 53 120 as the #1 project that will yield the best results for traffic congestion relief and economic development opportunities. Through related development, we stand to gain 25,000 to 30,000 new jobs and a total economic impact of $19 billion of new revenue into our communities. And most importantly, we all know that we have to do something, and the alternatives actually cost more, have less safeguards to protect the environment, and have no funding source. We studied the alternatives of what would have to be done in order to achieve the same results of Route 53. We would actually have to construct 56 miles of new roadway, our expanded roadway, and then a new 14-mile bypass, which would use much of the Route 53 right-of-way anyway. And so,
The old TIP project.
correct.
It goes back, Dave, many moons now. What is that, 10 years ago?
90s, yeah. So,
Oh, it was the 90s, huh?
the late 90s, yeah.
Was it?
I think so.
Good God, you know.
But most importantly for,
Transportation Improvement Project.
yes.
I know, I sat through a lot of hearings on that. It was special.
Yeah.
Widen every road in the county, you know, which are all, a lot of them are blacktops, you know, that, because of lakes and all that stuff. It was,
Yeah.
okay, go
And
ahead.
the 56 miles of expansions, it would require Butterfield Road to be expanded from 4 lanes to 6 lanes. You'd actually be taking out houses down in Plymouth Farms, Westwood, Greg's Landing, all throughout the community, widening Quinton Road and Kildare from 4 to 6 lanes, 83 to 4 to 6 lanes. So really, the Route 53 project provides the most efficient way to move traffic in the county. Just wanted to come and thank you again, ask you for your continued support, and really making that case to our community on why it is so important to our residents. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, this is languished for, probably as long as Route 22. It has to, you know, and
Longer.
Back to 60.
before the war. Because Route 22 started back in the 50s.
Well, this was
So is this
About the
before?
same.
60.
Well, you said
When they built,
longer.
yeah, when they built Munline High School, which was
Yeah.
61, it was, the right-of-way was already there, so.
Right. Except there's probably some right-of-way needed in some places. Okay, Aaron, anything else? That's about it, huh?
Thank you.
Okay.
Wait.
Trustee Hebda.
Do we have anything on our website regarding everything that's occurred with 53, and might it be appropriate to
To link it.
link it to the Lake County? I just think it'd be beneficial for residents, because they may not go to your link, and they may not get the Daily Herald, or they may not, you know. And I think there's some valuable information out there to do a link just as an information sharing for our residents.
Yeah, we have, I think it's IllinoisRoute53.org, and it has videos,
Yes, right.
infographics, stuff like that you could use.
Can we do that, John? Good, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Okay. All right, Hawthorne Wall, private street light on Ring Road near Sears. Is Is this Mike Atkinson, or is this the chief, or is this Dave Brown?
It's me, Your Honor. I did go by tonight, and the light is on, the light, and just to clarify, this is Ring Road, where it intersects with Milwaukee Avenue. There's a light there that hasn't been on in the past, and it's causing a safety concern, and we've gotten feedback regarding that. Following up on it, I was able to determine that Sears actually controls that light fixture. It's on their circuit. I talked to them, and they were able to switch the light on. The one thing I want to make sure of is that it stays on long enough, and they're aware that we want it on, late into the night, after 11 o'clock. So we'll continue to follow up on that. But as of right now, the light is on.
What time did it come on?
I was out there at 6 o'clock or so. It was about 5:30, somewhere between 5:30 and 6 tonight, and it was on. And it must have gone on within the last couple days. Until our conversation earlier today, I didn't know that it was actually working, and I was able to verify that.
You don't live here,
That's correct, sir.
so why would you drive that way at night?
It'd be a long drive, yeah.
But Dave Brown does, to go to Gurnee.
He said the world's round.
So did you do anything on this?
Mr. Atkinson had it handled very well, and I didn't need to.
Because it went on, and the lady might have been right, it went on because of Star Wars.
It did
Because
seem to
this was-
coincide with that.
This was, which is kind of, the reason I brought it up was, a lady, one of our seniors, which obviously I qualify for, at the luncheon, she asked about it. And I swear, my Scout's honor, she's sending me an email and said, did you get this turned on this quick? And it was like that night. But I think, well, of course yeah. I said, well, I'll take credit with it. I said, I'll take credit within reason. And but she said, I think it's because, she says, maybe it was Star Wars. And, sounds like it was Star Wars.
I think it was Star Wars.
Yeah, well, that's okay. The awakening, the light was awakened. All right, fine. What else we got? Village Hall, need for additional, oh yeah, this is a big one. Can we park any people out in front on the horseshoe and not stay up late worrying about it? Staff?
I think there's some, Roger, there's some different options depending what the parking need would be. John and I have talked about this. Within the inspector area, there are 8 parking spaces. We readily can convert 4 of those on the inside to handicap parking. We could convert 4 of those into 3 handicap stalls. So
Or are you gonna let them walk in
Yeah,
that
so
door then?
would that require putting in a sidewalk?
we would have to put a sidewalk
Connect.
to do that. So but I think in terms of solutions, that may be one of the less expensive, or we can have them within this ringed area, but there's not as many opportunities because the buses go through there.
Yeah, okay, I understand it. What's the width of that with a parked car and the bus going by? It's probably pretty wide, though.
Our senior bus, it's more because of the curvature that the senior bus needs to swing through there. You could, where you typically park for the board meetings.
Right.
I'm sure we could fit a couple on that side also. So if I understood a little bit more as far as how many spaces we want to mark out, we can make a plan and share that with you.
Well, can we figure out how to let the seniors, well, yeah, I guess you're walking right into Village Hall, but,
Yeah.
you can walk into Village Hall through the front door.
True.
But I think that's, in essence, parking, where the employees park now, and then doing a sidewalk, it's the same as where they're parking. You know what I mean? If they gotta walk that far and then,
Dave,
you're
is
doing
there-
the same thing.
Could any of it be bumped into the land bank in front of the building? I mean, cut in going this way?
We absolutely could add it into that area. I guess what I'd really like to work with you guys on is figuring out how many parking spaces. If we're talking about 2 that are primary, potentially that would be where the mayor parks right now, and we can put cones down, have the bus go through there and find out whether it works. I think it would. If there's more that's needed, we can add additional ones in the inspector area. So it's really, how many people are we looking to accommodate?
It's probably more than you think.
Yeah.
You know?
So it could be the combination of the 2.
But in essence, if you park where the inspectors park, and then you gotta walk from where, where the spots are, and walk over to the main walkway and go in the building, it's not that much closer.
Right.
You're not a senior. I can speak with authority to this.
I understand.
So maybe we gotta take out the land banking, Maybe we just gotta take out some of the, the lawn where the handicap parking is now and just bring it closer to the building, It's not gonna cost a fortune.
Well, Your Honor, maybe a couple comments. We did a preliminary look-see at that in terms of the grassy area out here. And the net increase in the number of spaces, honestly, is only about 2 additional spaces. Because if you push up towards the building with pavement, you lose 2 spaces right where you're bringing the pavement closer to it. There's 2 existing spaces out there right now. So the net is maybe 1 or 2 additional at most. You then also create additional impervious surface that we have to account for in terms of the detention that we have here on site, as a part of that. It may be possible to create some additional spaces over in the inspector area and put a sidewalk that traverses or cuts across the green space and gets people here to the front door closer, or be very similar in terms of length than what you're going to get here. It's going to be very difficult to push spaces up close to the building without reworking and significantly impacting the front of this building. You're talking about potentially losing all the trees and all the green space out in front of the building to try to address this. I think what we can do out in the turn area there is create some spaces out there. Maybe we create 2 or 3 spaces and look and see how it works. We can adjust, if we have to adjust some curves as a part of a project in the summertime or spring or summer, we can look at that as a part of the capital projects list. Long-term, obviously, we have to determine what the disposition is of the Lashin Center long-term. That may present some opportunities to create additional spaces there or push all the regular parking away from the building and create more spaces up closer to the building itself. So we can do, I think there's an intermediate solution and a long-term solution that can be brought to bear. It's just a matter of, we need to put pen to paper and see what works the best for the building. I don't think we're going to be able to create enough handicap spaces to address the active seniors that we have here in total.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But you're right. The spaces are outnumbered by the users.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand that, but
We have people parking in the striped off areas, trying to create additional handicap spaces, so.
well, Chief, don't write any tickets.
No, sir. Haven't so far.
Okay, that's good. All right. All right, so we'll talk about this at some future date
We'll come back with a plan.
during the
Absolutely.
budget.
We can absolutely look at that. I think there's an intermediate step that we can look at right now in terms of what's out here in the aisle, and then something as a part of the capital projects list.
Because as one ages, their ambulatory skills lessen. Right?
Understood.
Nikki doesn't even know what I just said. Yeah, she's too young. Okay. All right, okay, what else? Oh, Assistant Village Manager. Joe.
Thank you, Your Honor. Tonight, I just want to give a brief update on the Regency development at the northeast corner of Milwaukee Avenue and Town Line Road. As you recall, in November, the board approved an MOU with Regency. After that time, staff began working with Kane McKenna and Associates to look at the eligibility of the property for a TIF. What's before you tonight is a TIF boundary map that indicates what's being proposed as the TIF. The TIF eligibility study has not yet been completed. However, the preliminary findings do indicate that the property is TIF eligible. As you can see on the map, the TIF area incorporates the two parcels, which are commonly known as the northeast corner, or soon to be called the Melody Farms development. It also incorporates the adjacent roadways, and the reason for that is that because of the roadway work that will be done as part of this development, we want to make sure that those areas are incorporated into the TIF district in order for those areas to be reimbursed as TIF eligible expenses. Number of steps to still go forward with the TIF project as well as the development. In speaking with Regency, they've indicated that they'll be submitting for technical review and to begin the entitlement process in February. And we're in ongoing conversations with various stakeholders and taxing bodies to make sure that everyone's on the same page as we move forward with the development.
That's about it, huh?
Yep, I'll continue to provide updates through the transmittal packets as well as on our village website. And I'm also available for any calls or questions in the meantime.
So Aaron, do you want to speak to anything else?
If you have questions,
Do you have the money?
do you have the money? What money?
Well, you know, hiring consultants.
We can discuss that. And yes, we would have.
Really? That'd be nice to see if, you know, you want to throw some gelt into the game, because we're into this way more than you are.
Will you also benefit from the sales taxes?
You'll benefit all right, you know. Okay, well, we'll talk. Okay, well, with that said, blah, 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 what do you gotta do? Public Works Director, Dave Brown.
Thank you very much. The next item is the 2016 road rehab project. There is a resolution on the consent agenda, Resolution 2016-004. What that is a resolution to utilize motor fuel tax money. It does not obligate us to expend the funds, it just provides for it. So in terms of that, we're asking for, instead of the recommended pavement management study numbers of 1.2 million, we understand that there's some issues in Springfield. So due to that uncertainty, and we weren't sure whether we were getting the MFT allocations, we're looking at an $800,000 project. The area we're proposing is the manor homes for New Century Town. That was part of the street dedication program back in the early to mid 90s. So those roads do need work, and we're recommending that we address those. We have had conversations with the HOA for the manor homes, talking to their president and another board member. We have not committed to do this project. We just wanted to make sure we were coordinating with them in case they wanted to piggyback or coordinate some of their improvements. They are going to be doing some patching, some curb work, some driveways, so we did have that conversation. Also, there's some limited work on North and South Woodbine that we're looking to add. So that is the recommended program, and if the board agrees, concurs with the project, and we recommend that you approve Resolution 2016-004. And that's when it comes up on the omnibus approval.
So I'll ask Nikki this question. Is there any money flowing back to Vernon Hills and other municipalities from the state?
There are. They have reinstated the months that we were missing for motor fuel tax currently. And then it's still a little early yet to see if that'll continue, but it should with the recent actions downstate, as well as local use tax and the dispatch funds. So we have seen those kind of flood in. As soon as that bill passed downstate, we have received like 3 months
So
in one shot.
Sales tax is coming in.
Sales tax is coming in, that was never cut off, but we did have issues with the motor fuel tax, the local use tax, and the dispatch.
Use tax being the personal income tax?
It was the original corporate income tax. Oh, I'm sorry, that was replacement tax. Use tax is the tax that's charged on goods that are sold from companies outside of the state to residents within Illinois. So if you buy something online outside of state, they're charged a tax. Those companies are charged a tax, and that goes to the state of Illinois.
Oh, okay. All right, well, that's, how much is that? I mean, what kind of payment we get on that? Is it every 3 months or something?
It's pretty small. They give us a monthly payment. I'm trying to think, between the dispatch and the motor fuel tax and everything all together, it was like $100,000 a month between those three.
That use tax, they lump together?
They give us monthly payments, but I'm just saying between the motor fuel tax, the dispatch funds, and the local use, it was like $100,000 a month for all three of those.
Yeah, but
Together.
the use tax has gotta be what, the lowest?
Yeah, it's probably about $20,000 a month, 20 or 30,000 a month.
Okay. And that's because of the moratorium at the federal level?
The moratorium at the state of Illinois level.
No, at the federal level? I mean, on internet type sales.
Oh, the local use tax?
That's used.
No, we received that. That is separate.
Okay. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
When you, I mean, when you think there's 14 million people in the state buying stuff online, is this all online purchases?
Yeah.
Is it all online type purchases?
Mostly online type, yeah.
So if I buy something and I live in Illinois and I buy it where?
If you buy it from a store that does not have a physical presence in Illinois, they should be charging you, well, they should be paying a local use tax.
Really?
Not everybody does it, obviously, since we're only getting $20,000 a month.
Yeah, I mean, it's by, you know,
It's not enforced,
no.
so it's a very small dollar amount.
Okay, all right, well, thank you for that update. Okay, blah, blah. What do we got, else we got here now? Snow removal update. We've only had 2 events, but they've been eventful.
Yes, both, that's a very good characterization of that. Really, we've had the one large event in November, forecasted to be 5-6 inches, became 15 inches of snow. Wet, heavy snow was taking down trees, limbs, etc. In that event, as I had advised the board before, we went into split shifts. So we had 9 people fighting at the beginning of the storm. Things were going well. And then the second group of 9 ended up helping with both the roads and any of the trees that we were dealing with. Fought through it. Generally, I think it went well given all the conditions. This more recent storm, I wanted to provide an update, and I know Mayor Byrne, we've talked about this also. The most recent storm, morning went very well. We were really fighting sleet, starting at 6:36. We did 2 laps in terms of the salting operations. The second time we had the plow down and then salting. So through lunchtime, I think things were going very well. The prediction was around 6 o'clock that we were going to get 38 degrees. It was going to be rainy out. That never came. There basically was somewhere around Route 22 Anywhere north of that, it ended up turning to snow. It continually came down as snow. We got over 4 inches, closer to 5 inches, depending on which section of town you live in. So we reacted. We called out the consultant. James Martin went out and did the cul-de-sacs as quick as they could. And I'm generally pleased on how the roadways went, but in terms of the cul-de-sacs, I'm not pleased on how the service that was provided. I've had a conversation with Martin Associates, kind of regrouping, what happened, and I've talked to a number of residents within the cul-de-sac area. They were coming home at 5 o'clock, and we were in the middle of this change in the battle. So they came home to a lot of ice, a lot of heavy, wet snow, and we're struggling to get into their driveways. So in meeting with our contractor, what we're proposing to do, and this is analysis going back from the previous year. In terms of our routes, we typically can cycle through one route within 4 hours. For the cul-de-sacs in a wet snow, it takes them longer, and by contract, it could be 6 to 8 hours. So I've asked them, how do they get closer to the cycling within our roadways of 4 hours? So by contract, it's eight vehicles that they typically would deploy. We've asked them to give us 11 vehicles instead. So that's going to turn around, their response time will be much quicker. They'll get through things. And when people see us going up and down the streets, they'll see their cul-de-sacs are getting addressed better. So those are two things that we're looking to address moving forward. We do understand that this is a change in terms of our plan from the previous years. We will be going into split shifts more frequently. We need to do that. We cannot have drivers on the road for 24 hours.
Right.
We need to break it down to shorter. So what I'd like to do is, these are two different storms, wet, poorly predicted. What I'd like to do is go through the rest of the season, get feedback from the board as far as level of service, if it's meeting it or not. We have plans, either way, but we'd like to still implement the recommended plan and, continue to update the board on how things are going. But I really do think that we need to address the cul-de-sacs, and this was not just these two storms, it was last year. So we are looking to amend where they will have 11 vehicles instead of 8 in the cul-de-sac.
How many cul-de-sacs do we now have in town?
Well, Martin Associates does 107 cul-de-sacs for us.
Is that all we have?
130, is that?
We have more than just the 107. We have, if you count the eyebrows and the dog legs, et cetera, you could probably add another 30 or so
Right.
to that.
Right. I always like to hear the eyebrows. I got 2 eyebrows down my street. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I mean, I read some of the, complaint emails and, some of them were just concerned about the sidewalks, more than, how the cul-de-sacs were plowed, which eventually, got taken care of. And, so what do we do about the sidewalk issue or at the corners? I mean,
Sure. The previous approach, where we had, more manpower deployed, we ended up doing them basically concurrently with the storm. When we're doing it concurrently with the storm, it hasn't frozen and we're able to get through things a lot easier.
Right.
With this, within a short period of time, it turned to ice. So we sent immediately on Tuesday, as part of the cleanup, we sent out our equipment. Basically, we have a couple of sidewalk machines. One has a V-plow on it.
Right.
One has a blower. When you tried to use the blower, the blower isn't going to work, right? So we tried the V-plow, and the V-plow is just going to skip off the top of the ice. So we sent out our skid steers, Bobcats,
Right.
and tried picking at it. Very slow moving. We got to some areas, but once it's bonded to the ice that we didn't address it earlier, and it becomes frozen and wet, it's going to bond and it's going to be an issue.
right.
We did also send out vehicles to front-end loaders to the intersections to clear out, for sight distances. And we've been working steadily, other than we did not work New Year's Eve and New Year's Day double time, because we weren't making much progress with it being the hard ice and picking at it with a bucket.
Okay.
So that's the facts.
Trustee Markport.
Yeah, just to come to the fence, the two snows that we've had have been out of the usual snows. First one dumped quite a bit, but it was also a long period of time. The recent snow, actually at 9 o'clock, things were probably good. And then all of a sudden it was hit. And I don't think it ended till later on that night. So it's difficult. And the one thing, because I do plow, so usually it's going to be the primaries and secondaries that are going to be plowed. And unfortunately, the cul-de-sacs are the last, but you have to understand it's for the purpose of doing the primary and secondary is for emergency vehicles, police, fire, to get there. So bear with us, they'll be done, and there's always ways to improve. But you do get some tricky snowfalls, and we've had two that have just come that were long, and actually both of them were wet snowfalls too.
Right.
So makes it a lot difficult.
I'm sure there's a lot of people looking forward to the next 4 days of melt weather.
Absolutely.
Okay. Got any other advice, Dave?
Um,
My
just-
advice is go buy some calcium chloride.
Oh, not all the time.
Yeah, whatever. I'm talking, to throw down on
Well,
the sidewalk.
The problem is, though, with
Oh, okay.
calcium chloride and salt, you can salt, if the temperatures start rising, you have moisture in the air, you'll take water that goes to the pavement, then it becomes icy and slick, and also oily, depending upon how.
I'm
it
just
is.
talking my, front porch and sidewalk.
Use salt. Use salt.
Really? Like Morton?
Regular salt. I don't care if you take all the.
Okay.
So we will continue to, analyze and share information with the board, and we'll do a reassessment at the end of the year and obtain your feedback and adapt as necessary.
And we got plenty of salt.
We definitely have plenty of salt.
Trustee Hebda.
Can I ask that we just keep in touch with the streets that the kids are walking on, the sidewalks that the children walk on to school? Because I know right now we can't do a whole lot, but as things stop, we can make sure that those are clear and safe. Because I think that was an issue too on Monday, or when the kids came back, so it was really slippery.
The school routes.
School routes.
Yes.
So just to kind of watch those routes too.
Absolutely.
Sidewalks.
Very good.
Okay. All right, omnibus vote agenda. Is there a motion to approve A through K, which includes G that Dave talked about earlier? So is there a motion?
So maybe
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Trustees Markport,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Grieve,
Aye.
Williams, Hebda,
aye.
Schultz.
Motion carries. Unfinished business, none. New business. New business or communication? Anybody got anything? Okay. Well, we're going to go into closed session to discuss.
The executive session will be for the discussion of the employment compensation or performance of an employee pursuant to Section 2-C-1 of the Open Meetings Act.
Okay.
We're doing this, that's the official,
They're like personnel.
correct. I just,
Sounds like a lawyer got a hold of it.
I can't say
Okay,
it
Dan,
Can't give it to you that simple, Your Honor.
Nice, okay.
I take the
All right,
blame for that.
Yeah, personnel. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the board meeting? to go to committee of the whole.
So made.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Trustees Cook,
Aye.
Grieve,
Aye.
Williams, Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz, Markwart.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting to order. Is there a motion to approve the committee of the whole meeting minutes of December 8th, 2015?
Motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
Second?
Second.
Any comments, questions, deletions, or corrections? If not, roll call.
Trustees Grieve,
Aye.
Williams, Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz, Markwart,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Motion carried. For second item on the agenda, and the only item, besides adjournment, Vernon Hills Park District 635 Aspen Drive concept presentation for a special use to allow the expansion of the Sullivan Community Center. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
is somebody stepping forward and we're from the Park District, or is this just?
I can give my brief report, though representatives are here this evening to answer
Or
any questions.
is this just supposed to be a slam dunk or something?
No.
Well, who represents the Park District besides a Park District member? Is there somebody that's drawn up these plans or an engineer? Who's the engineer? Okay. Why don't you come up? And how about the architect?
Architects, engineers.
And you got any drawings? You got anything? Doesn't look like it, huh? Okay. Well, we can use our imaginations.
We can. There you go.
Your Honor, the proposal's right in front of your, the screen right in front of you.
They have no,
It's,
they have no props. No props. Joe, can
No
you
props.
answer that?
yeah, they have no props.
It's hard to say, huh?
I had a mint in my mouth. So
Okay, well, all right, go ahead. Who wants to identify themselves from the Park District?
I'm Jim Ballou. I'm the president of the Board of Commissioners for the Vernon Hills Park District. And with me this evening is Tom Lalonde with Williams and Associates, they're the architects.
What's his name?
Tom Lalonde. And then we have Tom, and he'll say his last name because I'll butcher it.
Tom Richlick with Gaywald Hamilton Associates.
And we're here to answer any questions you have after Mr. Carey does his presentation.
What, do you have anything to, present?
Your Honor, I'd be happy to
Do
outline
you
the
have
proposal.
you don't have a little easel or,
It's got this.
It's right there.
we just got this, okay.
So what they're proposing
Nice.
this evening is an addition of about approximately 17,000 square feet, which encompasses a new gym at the northeast corner of the Park District property, as well as an additional preschool addition at the southeast corner of the property. This will expand the existing center from 32,000 square feet to 50,000 square feet. They'll be using existing architecture features, so the expansion will match the current features on the site as presented here. For the preschool, it'll be expanding an additional 4 rooms, each room serving approximately 15 children. The preschool hours run from September through May, and the hours are consistent with the classes in the morning and the afternoon. Here's an interior picture of the renovations. Part of it will be moving the main entrance as well as creating additional space for staff offices and the like. So as you can see here, this was actually approved via special use ordinance back in 1991. Because it is modifying the existing site plan, it requires them to go back before the Planning and Zoning Commission for approval of the revised site plan. And that is what we're looking for tonight, is direction from the committee to direct them to go before the commission for consideration of an amendment to the site plan.
So is that,
If I may, just,
So you're only adding, what, 18,000 square feet?
17,000.
17,000.
Probably.
How much?
That's what
17,000
Wow,
square
it's
feet.
close.
this right here.
Is that all you need?
The entrance.
Yeah, that's about all the site will handle, to be honest with you. The one change to Joe's comment was that it's not 4 additional classrooms. We have 3 preschool classrooms at the moment. We'll be keeping those 3. We're just making them larger, adding 1 more classroom, so it'll be 4 instead of 3, bringing those to the front of the building and enlarging them some from what they were before. Then the gym will be in the backside, and then obviously the front of the existing front of the building is now going to be more office space, administrative space, where we're going to move all of our staff back over there.
So how's things going with, District 73?
Good. We've met with them several times, and they actually brought Williams on also to do some sort of concepts as an addition onto this building. They were looking to attach to the backside of the building so that they could make use of the gymnasium, the new gymnasium as well.
Would this be for after-school children, or?
Actually, they're talking about a kindergarten building, again.
Okay. So the after-school program's kind of off the table?
Yeah, the after-school programs will stay in their existing locations as of right now.
Okay,
But they're both at Hawthorne North and South.
okay. Trustee Cook?
So this will, in essence, totally eliminate that front circle,
That's correct. Yep,
and that'll be completely gone.
that'll be completely gone. We're gonna move everything on, would be the east side of the building. I think that's the east. Is it east? East side of the building now, over there.
Yeah, and the potential for the addition and, or potential whatever you're talking about with District 73 would be,
This area up in here.
yeah, where the new
Yep.
gym is in that.
Yep, they'd
Would it-
probably
Oh,
come,
to the north?
yep, to the north. Yep, that's where they're looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And we have enough, detention, stormwater, runoff, what have you?
There's certainly enough detention in the vault for an improvement on this site, but there are 2 different watersheds, so they'll have to determine how they, whether or not detention's required for the southerly new school addition. What does that say? New preschool addition. But the appendage of the new gym to the north, that has definitely been in the master plan before, and also, I guess in terms of the roadway, you had mentioned as far as the school and the appendage to the north. One of the things that we're looking at, and Gewalt Hamilton is looking to do the traffic study, is where the junior high school bus entrance areas of extending the roadway to connect with that, go easterly, and then have it tie back into their parking lot. We would allow enough room that the school could put an appendage off of the north side, but we want to make sure that the circulation and traffic issues work too. So Gewalt Hamilton will be helping us all with that.
But this proposal really has little or no impact on traffic, or that the idea of a kindergarten center or some kind of school building on the north side would have a significant traffic study that need to be done, but this really won't affect basically anything, will it?
Trustee Hebda?
As I understand it, the reason part of this is you need to leave the Lashen centers to bring your staff over here.
That'd be
And
correct.
as I understand it too, the front entrance really is not used that much. People come to the side. And then the second issue being that the preschool existing currently cannot be a secure site like the Lakeview daycare. So this will be a secured, locked area that people will have a key code into and out of the preschool classrooms
Right,
too as
it'll
well.
be-
Because
it'll
right
be-
now, we can lock the door, but anybody, and we did a safety training with the police
Can
department.
waltz in?
They can waltz in. This way, at least there's a locked area too. Plus, you're going to have the playground secure too as well, so that no one can walk into that area, as I understand it.
That's correct.
My biggest concern, and be honest, I'm a teacher over there right now, is your construction schedule. and what it does to displace the students in the fall, and what you do with the summer camps. How are you going to secure that those kids can come in and out of that building when there's construction going on?
Yep.
What is the intention of where they're going to walk when they come in and out of that building with construction going on?
But there will be accommodations made for all of those. I can tell you that the schedule that we're trying to put together for the construction schedule is to try not to affect the preschool season at all, if possible, and if it does, just a small bit. So that's our goal.
It's a nice promise, Jim.
That's
I'm
our
gonna
goal.
Hold you to that.
Okay.
Just
Well,
kidding.
input.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you to that, because that is a
Right.
concern.
And we are fully aware of that.
Sure.
The camps, we see no problem in.
You don't, I mean, as far as kids walking in and around there, because you're gonna have digging going on both at the north end and at the east end of the building as well. I understand you're gonna wanna start digging in April.
Yeah, and I think there was talk of phasing it, correct?
Yeah, there'd be phasing, and there's going to be a construction manager who is very well versed in dealing with these types of projects and public safety related to them. So we'll actually lay out a very detailed phasing plan
Okay.
to get people in and out of the building very safely.
Right, because I mean, you've got, not that the adults are fine, it's the kids I'm more concerned about,
Absolutely.
especially the little ones.
Absolutely.
So,
What
because those,
do you mean you're not concerned about the adults?
well, I'm concerned about the kids being sure. Hopefully the parents will take care of them too, but yeah, so that's my biggest.
What do you want, like something downtown, it's covered, it's, you know?
Well, no, it's just that you're gonna have a lot of equipment out there, and you've got
Right.
kids that are going in and out of that building in the summer, both inside and outside. So hopefully, we're taking a concerted effort to make sure, as I'm sure you are, as to where we're gonna place everybody.
We are
During
fully,
that time.
we are fully aware of that.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yep.
Okay. Nothing, anybody, want to make a motion to approve?
Yeah, so made.
Well, I think you're going to technical review,
To
correct?
move it on to.
Move it
yeah,
on to.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a second or a third?
Motion made, yeah.
Who made, who's the second?
Tom,
Made the
Made the
motion?
motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
Can we clarify the motion, what the motion is?
Yeah.
yes.
To move on with the project, what, to staff,
Into technical review and then
Yeah.
onto the planning and zoning commission
Yeah.
and come back here?
Yeah.
Okay.
what he said.
Yeah. All right, the motion,
I know
the
it's
first
not-
and
I
the
know it's
second
not
agree.
personnel, so it's like-
The first and the second agree, right?
Yeah.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Williams, Hebda,
I'm voting aye, and I think it's a wonderful expansion, and I hope you'll continue your talks with the schools as well to make sure that we get this whole campus put together in a good way. So I say aye.
Schultz, Marport,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Grieb.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Welcome to technical review land.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave, you got any advice for him regarding engineering?
Gewalt Hamilton's a very fine firm, and I think they'll serve him very well.
Well, that's nice, but I mean, is there, yeah, that's nice.
You're actually you're the same
I'm
architect
just saying,
that built the existing.
don't we have
development.
the wetlands kind of hiding place for criminals that rob Mexican grocery stores?
I wasn't thinking of sharing any of that.
Well, these-
I have talked to them in terms of the wetlands, detention. We've met with them previously. I think they're heading in the right direction.
Right.
And these are
okay.
the same builders that built the existing Sullivan Center, your same architectures. So, good.
Okay. All right. You're excused if you want.
You can go.
You got something else on the agenda? Because I'm making a motion. Is there a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole and go into closed session to discuss statute 1922-32,
Personnel.
personnel?
Motion
Is
to
that the right
adjourn.
number, Dan?
Motion to
Close.
adjourn.
Close?
Second.
There's a motion, and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustees Williams, Hebda,
Aye.
Schultz, Marport,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Grieb.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, thank you and good night. Happy New Year, because it is the new year. Our next meeting is January 19th. Same place, same time.